I woke up the next morning to a bright room and a single crow deciding that I had slept long enough, cawing on a tree outside the house. The house was still quiet, though, and I had more than missed the bus by this point. Mom had left for work and left the coffee on, which was nice, a small note on the counters on my cup saying, "Figured you could use the day off." I filled my cup and then added some Irish cream liqueur from the top cupboard. There wasn't an ice cube's chance in hell I was going to face this day of all days completely sober. And so I walked around the house quietly. The edges of what happened the day before were slowly closing in, but still far enough away that they could be ignored for now. The coffee was good, and I sat on the couch and woke up. I realized that I'd never really been alone in this house before. Mom did a lot of work at home and always came home after her or before she did. And every other time I had company over, like the study group or when I went over to Dad's to get a meal instead of microwaving pizza here. I thought this must be what it's like when you move out. Sure, my room or apartment will be smaller, but will it be mine? And it'll have my stuff in it. College was just under a year away, and the added weight of moving out to a yet unknown destination was creeping up on me. And then Sean's accident jumped back into my mind. The vision of him crumpling into the hood of the car flashed to the forefront of my memory, and I jolted on the couch, reliving the moment for a nanosecond. I needed to do something. I couldn't just sit here. I'd drive myself crazy, avoiding the thoughts and memories of what happened. I needed to check in on Sean or get to school, but with Mom taking the car, my options were limited, so I stared out the window and just saw as a postal service car pulled up to our mailbox and dropped a few envelopes. Peering out the window, hoping they didn't see me, for some reason. And then I waited for them to leave before putting on my coat over my flannel pants and a t-shirt and stuffing my bare feet into my boots. I trudged to the mailbox through the melting snow and gravel driveway and grabbed the delivery. Bills, a flyer for a local hardware store, some Liberal MP's desperate attempt to reach out to a rural constituency via postcard, and a letter from the DOT. It was my license. I could feel the hard plastic card through the paper of the envelope, and it should have been exciting, but it wasn't. The thought of driving scared me now, and I didn't want to become the kind of person that could hit someone like Sean was hit. I seriously wondered if I would ever drive after that. A week ago, I was obsessed with the idea of freedom and the little piece of plastic would bring me. It wasn't freedom alone, though. It was shackled with the kind of responsibility I now couldn't believe society gave to kids my age. It didn't open it. Instead, I just went back, hoping the couch would now be free from the thoughts I was avoiding, mail in hand and depression slowly crawling onto my back. As I got to the door, I could hear the phone ringing from the porch. I didn't rush to get it, but it kept ringing after that and took an extra long time getting my boots and coats off. I tossed the mail on the table and the phone, and since the phone was still ringing, I picked it up. I held the receiver up and said, "Hello?" in a deeper voice than normal, just in case it was a business call from Mom. "Jesus Christ, Chris, Kylie said you weren't in school and I knew you weren't home. I knew you were home, so why didn't you answer sooner?" It was Sarah. She sounded like she was crying, if not mad at the moment. "Sarah?" I said, bewildered in the phone. "Why are you calling me?" I stayed home too. I didn't get much sleep and Dad figured it'd be better for me to have a day off, so I just woke up, she explained. "Me too," I said. "Any word on Sean?" "Nothing yet," she said. "Damn." His mom seemed positive at the hospital, Sarah. "I'm sure he'll be okay." "Yeah, I hope so," she said. There was a long silence on the line, and we both waited for the other to talk, and finally I broke the silence, to stop the awkwardness at the very least. "Do you want to come over?" I asked, wincing at the simplicity of the sentence. There was more silence, and then the devastating sound of Sarah inhaling through her nose, through tears I couldn't hear before, but I could make out in her voice now. "Yeah, if it's all right with you." "Wear a bright coat," I said, out of genuine safety concern. "I will," she said, fighting back the nasal voice that usually follows bouts of crying. I hung up the phone and started another pot of coffee, and quickly jumped in the shower and then to a fresh set of clothes. Digging through the cupboards, I found some snacks, mostly cookies, and leftover chocolates that didn't get eaten at Christmas. I put them on a plate and put the plate of coffee on the table and then waited. And I put them on a plate and then the plate on the coffee table and waited for her knock on the door. She didn't take long. I always thought she lived farther, but she seemed to get to my place quicker than it took me getting to hers. Though this was likely my nerves playing games with the clock more than anything else. Maybe she rushed, maybe she didn't need to. She wore a giant fluorescent work jacket from her dad's work and a matching blaze orange toque. I helped her take off her jacket, and she was in a gray hoodie and jeans with the bright pink socks, obnoxiously accessorizing her frumpy outfit. "Thanks," she said, and walked over to the couch ahead of her. "No problem. I didn't want to be alone either," I said. "Did you sleep last night?" she asked. Sometime around 3 a.m., I finally crashed. You? Yeah, the sun's light might have been rising, she said. We laughed a bit, and she grabbed a cookie, nibbling on the edge before devouring the whole thing. It was nice to see Sarah having the same standards for a healthy breakfast as me, and I was still a bit wary of the anti-morning person Sarah was from the bus showing up. Coffee? I asked. Yes, please, she said, her eyes widening at the thought of the beverage to go along with her cookie breakfast. I got up and walked to the kitchen to get her a cup and to find Mom's cream and sugar containers, and when I turned around to bring her mug, she was behind me. I never heard her walk up, and I almost spilled the coffee on her, avoiding the floor in the process. I wish there was a better way to describe what she looked like. Almost lost but wanting, not quite sad but far from happy. She needed a hug. There was really no other way to describe her, so I put the mug down on the counter, and I pulled her into my arms. She buried her face into my chest, and my arms wrapped around her waist. It wasn't erotic. There wasn't anything that could lead there. It was embrace of human need, not one of desire or want. We stayed there for long enough for the coffee in our mugs to get cold, not breaking apart for fear of what people might say or see. We held each other as our worlds were fraying at the edges, a hem on the fabric of our lives, tight and unyielding like the arms that would not let each other go. Thanks for coming over, I said. Thanks for being here, she replied. We eventually moved back to the couch and turned on the TV to pass the time, but the hug said everything it needed to. We needed each other, and we had each other, and nothing more, nothing less. Chapter 31. Hope you guys like it. And description has links for the books below, and we'll talk to you guys later.